Okay. All right, so just before we start this, the whole meeting for December 9th, I just want to remember to point out to everybody that the cell phones are not permitted during the course of the agenda here, so unless you have something important going on, if you ask me ahead of time, you're allowed to use them, but otherwise that they should be turned off. So,
turned off or turned down?
Off is what best way. So, I know I haven't said anything before, but I mean, that sign's been up there for 5 years and I just take it for granted, right?
Where? Oh. Didn't even know it was there.
Well, I know it's not something new, but it was pointed out to me by some of the residents, so I just wanted to.
Council, it's a good idea.
Yeah, bring it up. So, okay, so, without further ado, at 5:32, I'd like to call the Committee of the Whole meeting to order. First order of business, pecuniary interest regarding the agenda. I don't believe anybody has anything. We don't have any in camera today. See Donna? Negative, sir. Okay. So, agenda, are there any additions or deletions on the agenda? If not, I accept it as is.
I'll move the agenda as is.
Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. So, first thing we're going to get into, I guess, right away is we're going to get into the interim budget. CFO Cindy.
Hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We're nodding, sorry. Yeah.
I can't really see you very well. Okay, so on November 22nd, Council tasked administration to revise the road program and offer the revised scenarios for discussion. Administration has revised the budget and both revised options B and C as provided by Select Engineering. So option B results in a 0% increase for 2026, a 4% increase in 2027, and a 7% increase in 2028 and 2029, which those are slightly offset by old debentures being paid off. And then option C results in a 0.6% increase in 2026, a 7% increase in 2027, and a 10% increase in 28 and 29. And that's strictly due to the fact that we'd have to just borrow more money. So no other areas of concern were noted at the time. Therefore, the only numbers that were adjusted in the budget were the ones related to capital and debentures. Upon final review of the interim budget, any changes council wishes to invoke, I can make in real time tonight and provide council with an accurate, updated information to ensure an informed decision can be made on December 23rd. Administration recommends that council thoroughly debates the budget by bringing forth all queries for discussion, arriving at a final budget to be passed at the regular meeting of council on December 23rd, 2025. Administration also recommends council through resolution direct administration to prepare the final budget documents with adjustments for passage in accordance with MGA sections 242 and 245. So you have the budgets in front of you. I could share my screen, but I could only share one at a time. So basically we would have to, here, I'll share it. Option B. Sure. Okay, so I adjusted the capital. I don't know if you guys can see that really clearly or not. Does it need to be bigger?
Yeah.
Okay, that's about as big as I can go. So, our debenture in the first year, here we go, would be 465,000. And this is with putting the looping option in the last year, not in any of the year phase 1 or phase 2. I included the looping option in phase 3 because that's the year with the lowest outlay of capital. So option B comes in at 1.9 million for the first phase. which is the 2 blocks of 53rd, and then I believe it's 54th Street. So that's 1.9 million. So the debenture for that year would have to be 465,000. And then phase 2 would be 1.1 million. So that debenture would be 725,000. And then that's assuming that all these costs stay the same, of course. And then phase 3, which is the looping and that one little strip that you said nobody lives on. I can't remember I don't have the map in front of me. That one we'd have to debenture 400,000. So to complete this whole project, our debentures would be over the 3 years, almost $1.6 million.
And what if we move the looping into the first year?
Then I would have to borrow another $500,000. So it would be we would borrow almost $1 million, 990,000. I'd have to run the calculation quickly on the website to see how long or how much that would increase the budget.
I just would like to see the residents get better water sooner than later. Mm-hmm. That's possible. She's just running. Sorry, I didn't throw you that sooner.
No, it's okay.
Once again, we're not approving it at this time. This is just, we're just giving her direction to prepare the budget, so for the 23rd, so then we get the final draft on it.
Right, but if we need to know some information now before, yeah.
Okay. Oh, now's the time to ask the question.
Yeah, so I just have to, you guys can keep talking and I'll answer. I'm just looking it up here, so.
Okay, so you said 1.9 first, and then 700,000, give or take, and then 400.
No, if we add it's 1.9 million just to do those roads. If you add the looping, it's like now 2.5 million. So I would have to borrow $1 million in year 1 and a 725 in year 2, and I probably wouldn't have to borrow anything in year 3.
Okay, so I'm not following you, Cindy, because your numbers, you said 1.9 something. Was that a total or no?
1.9 is the cost of doing the road for option B.
Okay. So
the debenture would have to be 465,000. If we add the looping to year 1, it will go up to 2.5 million. And then I would have to borrow that extra 550,000.
And as everybody can see the map there on what's being done, right?
And this is over 3 years or 4?
3.
It's over 3.
Do you have any idea of a percentage rate for borrowing?
Yeah, I can tell you in just 1 second here.
I do have a question about, I know you live in that area, the water. Why is my water and their water so different?
Because remember they talked that there's a dead end for ours? So that water sits there and it goes stagnant.
Okay, yes, because I'm in the old part of town.
Yeah.
You would think the water should be worse, but
I talked to people when I went door to door over there and they said it was putrid.
Yeah.
So like, for example, I can only speak for my house, but
yeah.
When you have to do a clean on your washer, typically that's like an every 6 month thing on the washer that I have. I have to do it every 4 to 6 weeks. Or it smells it's a 4-hour cycle. Yeah. And then all your clothes smell and and that's even with adding the OxyClean and all that
It's also part of why they want to clean up the loop as well.
Well, yeah, I
For
understand.
more
It was like, yes, because of the dead end that's causing it, nothing.
So there is no stop, they would put it in.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yes, Theodore, go ahead.
Just to let you know, sir, I'm on the line with our engineer, we're trying to get him in here tonight for this, so that's why you're hearing me tap
Okay,
away.
yep, no, we'll wait.
Yeah, I thought if Jared could remind us of the big differences of the.
I can sort of remind you. You mean between phase 2 and phase 3, the differences?
Option B and option C.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
You're right, option C. Well, I think the only difference with option C was that they put in the new utility lines from the main into each individual. Other than that, they had all the same things. You got your option B had all your curbs, all your pavement, all your water lines, all your sewer lines. The only thing it didn't have was the individual brand new services into each house instead of hooking up to the old ones.
And how critical are those? Like, have they been a problem? Like, I know while it's ripped up, that's the ideal time to do it.
I can only tell you what I know, Tracy, and I'll tell you, I did have that one failure right on the corner of 53rd and 53rd, and I just want to remember back the situation. Sorry, I'm just going over it in my head real quick. I don't think it was, yes, it was not a fault of their line. So their line wasn't the failure in it. I know it was the main, but it was the main and their line was involved, and we did have to do some work on their line, but that was the result of, actually ended up being a result of where it attached to the main. And it was, that's where it failed, which was the town's responsibility. On each main, Trace, you have a big pipe, and you have a little 3/4 inch or 1 inch valve, and then you have the line going into the house, and so you can shut it off there. It actually goes not into the house, it goes into your CC on the lawn, and that's where your second valve is. So these valves should always be open, and that's the valve that failed in that case. So my answer to you is, in the 5 years that I've been here, I don't think we haven't had any failures of people's CCs. Now, that isn't to me swearing anything, that's just me telling you.
And those lines that go to each resident, how old roughly would they be?
As old as the...
As that area?
As old as the area, in theory, unless it was a newly built house since that area was put in.
But they're not
So,
70 years old?
No, mine's 40.
There's nothing older than 1956 in this town. The oldest water lines in this town were put in 1956. I can tell you guys that much.
Ours were 81.
But that neighborhood, I don't think, was there in 56. I think that was much later. But you're still looking at, what, 50 years probably? I don't know.
So in option B though, that's not including any of the curb stops being replaced, right?
You know what, Kevin, I don't remember that part.
I think I asked about that, and I think he was gonna come back and include that in the next, we're to discuss about it.
I do think Kevin's correct.
Okay, no, Donna just provided me with it. 1 second. There's B and C.
'Cause my concern was if he's putting in the new lines and stuff, why would we not replace those at the same time, because you're digging out? And part of that conversation was also, if he was going to, shoot down hoses or spray foam down the lines, my concern was, well, you hit a T and you gotta dig it out anyways to be able to do that connection. So why would we not replace the curb stops at the same time? But I don't believe that was,
Well, if you look at.
I don't believe the curb stops were included. The connection was, if we were to do that, but I don't believe the curb stops were included.
Yeah, it says here on the 4th line of it, Kevin, removal and disposal of straight face curb and gutter. I can't see where it says put in the name.
Number 9.
Sorry. Number 9?
Number 9 on both.
Thank you very much. So yes, it does, Kevin, include curbs.
So if you look,
On item B, you agree, Kelly?
No, that was on option C, not B, right?
I'm looking at, No, I'm looking at option G.
Just compare the two pages, pages 19 and 15. If you look at those two pages, you'll see all the items there for option C and option B. And really, the only difference in option C is you're going right to the property line. Is it? Going to the guy's house.
And I get that, I realize that, but are the curb stops, they're not included in,
No.
they're included in one or the other, or they may not be.
I don't think they're included at all.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think so either, and like I said, if you look at, compare the sheets there, all 1 to 8 are identical, and then except you get down to number 9, and that's the difference, right? When you're doing option B, you're just going to the mains, you're not going to the residences.
Correct.
That's really the only difference on that. And then also on the road servicing, you've got a little bit of difference there as well, another $150,000.
The option C is.
I just think a lot of people are getting confused over B and C and what, because B and C are two different
Yes.
or totally different things. So I think what we should actually do, in my opinion, is let's just talk about B and then C and not confuse the two over. Like my opinion is if you're gonna replace the lines, the water, the sewer, refix the road and everything, you should be replacing the curb stops at the same time, because they're dug out anyways.
Yes.
And then you've got your warranty on them for the next little while instead of having to come back and fiddle around with them. My concern with that is, and I don't think a lot of people realize, is from that curb stop to the homeowner, that's their responsibility. So I think somewhere along the line, we have to really stress to the people in that area that the property in is your responsibility. Because I've been asked that a few times in the last 2 weeks.
I mean, that goes for sewer and water.
But a lot of people don't realize that though, right? You know.
Yeah, Donna, do you, want to make a comment on that?
I thought the engineer was gonna get back to you on that.
We're trying to get him logged in
Yeah,
here.
no, but when, in our previous discussion.
After we got back from holiday, so that's why he's in tonight.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on a lot of things, like, this isn't easy work, I'm gonna tell you that right now, so I'm staying quiet. It's not easy work, the debenture stuff we have to very seriously consider, because we can't go too high in that, so we have room. Like, there's lots of factors, none of them are easy, and none of them were negating, I'll say it that way. I'm just giving you thoughts so you can think about, so I'm not being negative about this at all, because I understand the significance of it. And, but we have to give you all these scenarios to think about. So, you're 100% right. If we debenture this, here's our interest rate, here's our payments. We get rid of the water treatment plant, we get rid of, there's another one there. And now all of a sudden we're back in payments again. And that's, you have to wrestle with that, right? Provincial interest definitely is lower than a bank, we know that. It could be 3.5%.
On a, sorry, Donna, on a 20-year debenture, the interest rate is 4.2%.
There we go, it's really, it's
4.2?
4.2.
Yeah.
Double.
On a 25-year, it's 4.37. And a 30-year is 4.46.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of debentures right around the 2, right, Cindy, 2.5, 3, I'm just overarching here.
Yeah.
But they were taken out a long time ago. So you're in the 4 range for interest, 4.5. 4 to 4.5, you consider that in your deliberations with debenturing. Am I saying we should debenture or not debenture? No, we have to figure it out either way. But we also, our cap is what, Cindy? Is it 7 mil? We definitely don't want to get up that, the ministerial limits anymore.
Well, bills are a fact of life, but this is only 2 roads in the town, basically.
Yeah.
There's still more to do.
See, and therein lies the rub, right? Like, it's always, and you can only do a section at a time.
So we can't wait 20 more years to do 2 more roads.
That's right, you know? But if you do a half-butted job, then
That doesn't do us any good
you
either.
get what we got by the fire hall, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff, which.
They were back to.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that. Chris, and your worship through the council, no, that was awesome. Because this town is, over the last many, many years, been half put together. How's that? It's been put together with baler twine and barbed wire. Oh, we'll just cut this, or we'll do that, or we'll cut this. Bearing in mind that, we have other issues happening with equipment and other long-term capital projects as well. That's your balance. That's a tough one. Have we ever got our engineer online, Jeff?
I see Leslie said it's trying to log back on.
I think really like B and C options, okay, first of all, I'm gonna say this on my part. They're both good options. They're 110% improvement to the road, to the lines and everything. And if you look at the CFO's notes on page 3 there, option B and option C, and if you look at the implications for the taxes, it's a pretty big difference between B and C.
Yeah.
And B is not a bad option. There's nothing wrong with it. Everything's, being done that we need to do. But if you go to C and you go for the full catalog on the whole thing, you're looking 7% in 2027, 10% in 2028 versus 4 and 7. And those are pretty big numbers.
Agreed.
So in my opinion, and I'm not doing this to sway anybody, I think that, the B is the way to go. But yeah, see you
Your
down.
worship, our engineer is on.
Yep.
Can you
Jared, do you wanna test? Can you hear us?
I can barely hear you, yeah. Hopefully you can
sorry,
hear me. I
that's-
can't see you. I can't see my video on, but maybe I'm there. I'm not sure.
You're on.
You're up there, yeah.
Well, thanks for phoning in anyhow. So there were a few questions here, and Kevin, if you wanted to ask the one about your
Curb stops?
Yeah.
Just speak very high for him.
Yeah. Well, when I'm looking at it, in regards to the last meeting that we had B and C presented it to us, and then our town foreman, Chris, brought up another third option. So say B, C, and D, on which lines to do first. Chris?
Yes.
So I just want clarification, like B, C, and then a possible D. And the D is only changing which two roads or which part of the roads we're gonna do first, with the loops and stuff on it,
Here, Kev,
right?
I got handed this. This might help a lot.
No, Counselor Kevin. Option B
Yeah.
is still the same. It's just we changed the roads. So there's
Yeah,
no
I
option
get
D.
that. When I say option C, Chris brought up the thought of doing it, the two worst part of the roads to begin with.
Yeah, and that's what this is all based on. Option B is not doing it's changed the roads. So option B is now the new roads that we're doing with no infrastructure to the houses. Option C is doing those two new roads with infrastructure to the houses. Correct, Jared?
That's correct. So all we did is we changed the phasing plan, okay? So the phasing plan dictates which roads are getting done first. The options were basically the extent to which we were doing the reconstruction methods. So option B was doing full concrete works and then pulverizing the existing road structure and putting it back in place with new asphalt. Option C was, and doing the water main. Option C was doing the water main, new services, sanitary and water to the houses, as well as a full new road structure and new concrete works done in a uniform manner, just as you would in a new subdivision.
Okay, and in option C, you included all the curb stops in that?
That's correct. That replaces the services from the mains to the property line, including the curb stops.
Okay, so water, sewer, curb stops, dig out the road, replace the road, and that was with a crush asphalt or no concrete?
No, that was with the typical road structure, so it would be a cement stabilized subgrade, granular base course, and then the asphalt surface.
So it is an asphalt surface?
Yeah, all the options were to put it back to an asphalt surface.
And
I think, sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting. Kevin was wondering I know there's no services to the individual homes with option B, but does it include curb stops on option B? Yes or no, please?
No, there was no curb stop. So the reasoning for that is if we're going to dig down, let me back that up. When we're doing the curb stops, we're also replacing the coppers from the main to the actual property line. And because we can't do just the copper, we're going to have to dig up the sewer service too. We do it all at once. Now, the reason we won't pulverize the road in that scenario is because we're going to have so much excavation in the road, there's really nothing left to pulverize because we're going to disturb everything. Option B, we could do a variant where we just do a bell hole down and replace just the curb stops. But realistically, that work could be done at any time. If you guys are having problems with that, I think, we would do it right away. But if it's something that, if you haven't had too many problems in that area, they basically, what they do is they'll hydrovac down a 4-foot tube and just replace the curb stop at that time.
Okay, I understand.
But we could also put that in the program if you wanted. Now, what the costing
Jared,
was, I'm not sure at this point.
Jared, if we did the looping in the first phase rather than the third phase, how would that benefit the residents?
Anytime you can loop it, it always increases your fire flows, and it'll also, allow that water to stay fresher. So that would be the benefits. So you would increase your fire flows. Your maintenance on those lines would probably be less. You'd have less flushing, just because you've got now a looped water line where it can pull in all directions. It would also possibly help with the temporary water servicing on the next phase.
How much would the looping cost?
$525,000.
Thank you.
But the looping is included in what you already started though.
I did it in phase 3 though, and so Councillor Tracy is asking to have it moved to phase 1, which I just did, and it basically over a 20-year amortization period increases the payments by $16,000 a payment or $32,000 a year. So for year 1, you would have not quite a 0.5% increase. In year 2, it would be 8.41, and in year 3, I didn't add it because I'd have to go in and take out the other loop, like the other payment. It's probably going to stay relatively the same in year 3, but so that's definitely an option. It's just going to really hit us in year 2 because of the other debenture, and then the debentures haven't come off until 28, 29, the bigger debentures. So it's just going to have a big increase in 2027. I mean, I can always debenture it over a longer term to keep, like if I went 25 years, it takes off about $4,000 a year. If I go 30 years, it takes off like $6,000. So $6,000 a payment over 30 years. But then the interest cost is like right now, debenturing $990,000 is going to cost us $483,000 in interest over 20 years. If I go to 30 years on that one, it now costs us $815,000, so almost double.
Can I ask a question of Chris then, please? Chris, if we look at this map together, as far as services to the residents is my primary concern in this particular question. What happens if there was an option to do it as year 1, 3, and 4 then? Because that would offset an awful lot. Like Cindy's saying, it's going to come down in 28, 29 because of other debentures coming off. Can the purple section wait that extra year, or is that really gonna screw people over?
You know what, that's an excellent question. I think you'd want really Donna and them just to answer how, like, or Cindy to figure out, you know, if skipping that year helps. But again,
Cause this is
these
the year we're
two
talking
roads,
about, right?
this is a road that only gets used by one resident for
Yeah.
their driveway, and I can keep them happy, and this road has minimal. So if you're asking me if this can wait an extra year and this can wait an extra year,
Yeah.
my answer honestly to you would be yes, it could, yes. I don't see why not.
I would like to put that forward as an option then. I mean, financially, it seems to make a pretty big difference. And you're still taking care of, I mean, I'm not just trying to say that because I live there. We look at everything online and everybody's complaining about 53rd, right? That's the biggest, even the people in the purple section, their biggest complaint is having to come up 53rd. So I feel like it's something more than they've seen in an awfully long time. And so pushing phase 2 and phase 3 by 1 year only seems to me like a decent compromise and prevents a little bit more of that debenture for that extra year.
Yeah, I agree with you, Councillor Carey. I think too, we could leave it in there right now and see where the budget comes out next year, and we can decide next year if we want to bump it a year, depending on growth and assessments and all that stuff. See where the budget ends up. Like, but I don't disagree with that that option at all. And I know we did discuss that while we were putting this all together, is that could this wait another year if we had to help ease the burden?
And if that was the case, I would still recommend going with what Councillor Tracy said, and that is looping it in year 1, so we're not pushing the looping into year 4.
Yep.
Are there other areas in Thorsby that need looping besides what's already set out? Did anybody else see Jared's face?
Yes, but I don't think it's a lot, actually, Jason. And if I were thinking about it, it would be like the 2 cul-de-sacs have a dead end naturally.
Over on the east
You know,
side?
Yeah, well,
That might get
sort of,
connected to
yeah, the
subdivision?
2, in the old,
Right.
what would it be, southeast corner?
Yeah.
Those 2 cul-de-sacs out there, they definitely would be dead ended.
Southeast.
But again,
Either way.
yeah, I don't get as many complaints about the water quality over there, though. Because
Jared, can I ask you a question? You still on the line?
Yes.
Yeah, so the looping, it doesn't require all the big equipment to put it in there, just the liner going in there, right?
No, so the looping does require the big equipment, and we would try and do most of it trenchless, right? Because
Correct.
we've got a very limited area we can put it into. So it's no different than the water main replacement. It'd be the same equipment. There'd still be open cut trenching as well as combination with some directional drilling in there.
It could be done anytime. Could it be done in the wintertime?
No, it would have to be done in standard construction weather, especially with water, because it's with the chlorination and the testing, you want to make sure it's not freezing. Now, what you may be thinking of is when we talked about the CIPP liner for the sanitary mains. That can be done in the wintertime up to about a -10 degree. You can still do that kind of any time of the year. And that's different equipment. You don't use the big equipment. There's no excavation involved. It just goes down the manholes.
Yeah.
For access.
So but it could be done anytime. It's the major thing is your road and the phase 1 and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Well, I think does that kind of make it a little bit clearer for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if we think about this, once you guys get these 3, I hope they're called phases, 3 phases done in 3 or 4 years, between that and Madison, you got 2/3 of town now, kind of not too bad. Like, now we can, take really look at the old town and see what needs to be done, which, humbly doesn't seem too bad. Okay.
Is Chris still there?
Jared, you mean? Jared's still there, yeah.
Yep.
Jared, when we talked about with this looping here, I'm talking about the lower part of 53rd Street. So I'm just talking about the looping, okay?
Yeah.
Can that be tied into the bottom end of 55 without ripping up the street? 54 without ripping up the street? And the end of 53rd? Just a looping.
So
I guess what I'm saying is if you're gonna do the road and everything on 54th Street, you're ripping that whole thing up, right?
correct.
But the looping is tying into the bottom of that. Can the looping be done on that whole section at the same time?
It could be. Now, if we went ahead and did, let's say we went ahead and just did the phase one, okay? And we didn't do the looping, we're pushing that back. We would set the stage in phase one to make sure that that looping was outside of the asphalt so we didn't have to dig it up again. So that would most likely mean stubs to the east and the west, okay? And then if we did the other phase, the phase two in the purple, same thing. We would take it out, we would stub it out so we wouldn't have to dig into the asphalt, and it's just connecting the two dots at the end of it.
Right.
So we could set it up in such a way that the looping done at a later date, you wouldn't have to dig up the asphalt. Now, it would most likely mean a couple of additional valves and some different lengths, so that, you know, there'd be a marginal change in costing. Depends how we set it up, but it wouldn't be earth-shattering.
But Jared, if you did it in phase one with the, like those three kind of blocks that we're going to do in phase one, how does that affect the other streets as far as ripping up?
We would have to dig some of it up to do the connections, right? So again, we would do it in such a way that once that next phase came in, right, that we've got something to tie into. And, you know, let's say we did it all in the first phase and it's on 55th Street, the asphalt's in really, really poor condition. Of course, we wouldn't go and pave it right now at this point. We would just do it into a gravel. So you'd have a kind of a temporary fix, right?
Okay.
It would make no sense to go in there and pave that at this time. And then once you went and did the final project, that's when all the paving and stuff would happen.
That makes sense. So we can reduce down to minimal. Yep. In phase one, I believe. Yep.
So I'm just gonna throw that out here then. Include the cost of the paving, but leave the cost of the paving and the work of the paving till the end of year 3, when we've got all of this stuff in, or 4. So just leave the paving end of it till the end.
Paving of all the streets?
Well, yeah, because we're gonna go through year 1 and do a red section or a blue section or whatever. You're cleaning up the water line, the sewer line, the curb stops and everything. You're getting the base for the road put back down. So really, in theory, you're just looking after the maintenance of the top of the road until all the infrastructure is in, dug out, no problems, no nothing, and then do the paving all as a final phase.
What does that mean for your team, Chris?
Well, I was gonna say, not my team, it wouldn't be us, that's where the professionals come in, but the one thing I would say, Kevin, is you have all your manholes and all your CCs and stuff, you're gonna have to build that entire road up to the level, and then when you go to pave it, you're gonna have to pay them to tear it all back down.
And then you gotta bring all your equipment back
Well,
again.
I don't know how far down, Kevin, I'm not a professional, but they'll have to tear it back down to do the paving. I see that as an additional cost. The other
Does that
thing I see.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
No, please go ahead.
I was just going to ask Jared if that makes any sense. Like, is that a feasible option, or is that going to cost more in the end? Is that?
I think so Chris is right. What you're going to have to do is now your structure is going to stay the same, but instead of putting 3 inches of asphalt on, you're going to be putting an additional 3 inches of gravel. Okay. And then you're going to have to maintain that gravel through however many years it takes to finish the project. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also risk with that. You know, they're going to have to maintain that on your gravel roads. I don't know what you're maintaining right now, Chris, but I would say at least, you know, once every 3 weeks, once a month at a minimum, you're going to be in there with a grader blading it. Now, you're going to end up with some of that water migrating to that gravel base and probably some freeze-thaw cycles and possibly some concrete heaving. So at the end of it, what are you going to save in a year or two? Probably nothing. It's probably going to cost you more because you're going to have to come back in. You're going to have to dig out all that gravel now, re-prep all of the gravel, and then put your asphalt onto it. So once you get that asphalt surface on, of course, now you've got an impermeable surface. All the water goes to the curbs, runs down the curbs, and it's kind of the best case scenario. So if you're going to go ahead and do all that work, I would highly recommend to put the asphalt surface on right away.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'd just like to add, in the past, they tore up 50th Street over there at this north end of Madison with the intention of fixing it, and they tore it all up, and it's never been done again, and it's still gravel, and it was paved. If we do that, it's gonna leave.
Well, I think the number one issue has been the road. I mean, the water, the reason we're doing the water is because we're gonna do the road, so you gotta do both. You're not gonna, right, so the water in your area, I don't know. Is it bad? Is it really bad? Is it?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Well, but I mean, the number one issue from all the residents has been the road. There's no question in my mind.
I think we need to
100%
see
agree.
progress. I think if we see something that stretches out 4 years, it's gonna be more critical and more nothing getting done. And I'm not disagreeing, I'm not talking money, Kevin, when I say it.
No.
This is emotion. I think people need to see.
We're talking about options here, and that's good.
That's what I can be done though too, right?
Yeah, what can be done, yep, you're
And option B, if I understood correctly, was regurgitated asphalt, whereas option C was brand new asphalt.
They're all brand new asphalt.
And then,
Yeah,
we're gonna
if-
research some of it at the base, but then they will put brand new asphalt on top for all three options.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
It's
that.
got nothing to do with the
Jared
quality of
said.
the road,
Okay.
no. The only difference is the services from the mains to the properties. That's the only difference I can see. Other than that, and I did take the time to read it, other than that, you're getting everything else is the same. Curbs, drainage.
I
At the
think,
end of the day, if you look at the estimate, the asphalt component is around $212,000 on a $2.5 million contract. So it's not even 10%. So you wouldn't be saving an incredible amount of money and you'd be taking a lot of risk.
Oh, it's good to ask all the questions, so we're looking at all the options.
Donna,
Yeah, you wanna think about your asphalt as a sealant, basically, and I know I'm talking, I'm not talking engineering language here, but you wanna look at it as a sealant because you want that water to run down to your storm sewers and gone. And great suggestions here, but, if you have a gravel top, and all of us have driven gravel roads, once you get the water underneath that gravel and permeating, not only that, Jared mentioned the last time, is we're gonna do some geotechnical on that road because we don't know what's underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
We have, I'm gonna say it, so he's gonna laugh.
You're opening up a real can of worms because you're gonna be flooding everybody out.
Yeah, we have plastic clay in this town, and you just have to look at the ski jump in Madison on that main to know what's happening, right?
Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, guys, to me, this is the most important thought I've had about all this. Okay, so the difference between option B and option C is from the main to the property, right? Here's the good news. If one of those mains goes, so we don't do it. Let's go option B, let's not do them. If they go, it's not the residents' responsibility from the main to the town. So it's not gonna cost the residents a dime. If we gamble, we're gambling on our dime, we're not gambling on their dime. And we'll fix them individually if it happens, but judging on what's happened in the past, I think we're gambling better to do option B. That's my thought.
So quick question on that then, if it's a gambling on the part of the town, that means that if something does happen, say at my house, and you have to do that repair, that will not damage the option B road that we've completed, correct?
Well, yeah, you're digging it out. You gotta dig up right where you're gonna put in the T.
If that goes, 9 times out of 10, it's not the little line from there to there, it's the line on the lawn. It's the CC on your property.
From the CC mill to the main.
And I guess
But yeah,
what
we
I'm
get
thinking is-
repaired one at a time.
See, the way
One
I'm
at a time,
looking
not a whole big road repair, okay.
The way I'm looking at it as, do we stick out $500,000 now on maybe they could go?
Okay.
Whereas we gamble and say, okay, if we get one or two in 5 years, you know, which is probably all I've had, and you know, then, okay, that's 10 grand a pop instead of that $500,000.
Fair.
Do I think they're all gonna go? No, you know, so I kind of think right now with, again, we don't have all the money in the world to spend.
Yep.
We're trying to keep it down. I think it's a better gamble. And that's my honest.
I wouldn't call it a gamble, it's a bad word. But-
Sorry, I apologize.
Better option.
I apologize.
That's quite all right, but we got the meaning, for you.
Yeah.
My concern with it is, Chris, is once it's paved, and then you start having things being popped up as you're going, then you're digging through pavement and everything else.
It's
Where
not.
you've already got the heavy equipment there, you've got the holes dug, you're doing the connections.
You don't have the holes dug, Kev. When we're digging the mains, we're digging a trench where the mains go. You're talking about digging each individual trench and replacing the lines to each individual home. That's extra work. We don't, when we do this, we're not digging up each individual line. We're just digging up the main. The only part that's gonna get dug down that deep is the center, or where the mains, the sewer and the mains are going. The rest of the road will only get dug down to a certain level, clay or whatever, right, as far as they need to go.
Well, your main should be at least 8 feet below frost, right
Yes.
at frost, so you're going down to 8 feet anyways.
Yes. But you see, what
So
I'm
for a
saying,
trench hole that covers
you're gonna have a
everything.
trench down the center of the road.
Yeah.
You're talking about digging individual trenches also to each
Yeah.
individual property to take a chance that their line might go. We don't, those lines don't go.
Not very often.
They don't. Like, I don't, if we don't have money.
I don't see
Again,
it
this is-
being an issue.
I think,
That's the one thing in Thorsby that's worthwhile, they don't go that often.
and the only things that go are the mains
Yeah.
right now. If we replace the mains, like I believe, Kevin, I truly do, with all my heart and my whatever bit of knowledge I have, that if you do the mains, you're not gonna have breaks on that street. We're not gonna be digging up those streets for 20 years, 25 years, or more.
And then we don't have to worry about it after 25 years.
Well, that's all they guarantee that stuff for, really. And we have stuff in this
Okay.
town that's over 50 years.
I think that's a good point. Anybody have any other questions or discussion on this thing here? Cindy, you just need us to just direct you, we're not gonna take a vote on this or anything today.
Right, like we're not voting, but I do
No.
need to know what
We need
you're,
to say which option or how would you like to proceed with this?
well, I need, well, first of all, we need to decide which option, because that's gonna determine a lot. And then we need to decide if you want to have the looping in year 1, which I don't disagree that that's a bad idea. And then just any other questions for the budget. Like this could be a long discussion. I don't know, but because when I come back to you on the 23rd, we have to pass the budget. Like there's not a lot of time to be.
No, and I don't mean to push anybody at this meeting or anything, but we could go around and around this for.
We just can't go back to the drawing board at that point.
That's correct.
Right. So, I mean, in my financial opinion, I would say option B. And I would say looping in the first year is probably the wisest. And because Jared said too, it'll help with the water.
Yep.
What did you say when you have to have temporary service?
Plus the temporary servicing and your fire flows, right? So.
Yeah. So to move it to year 1 is not terrible. It's not going to affect property taxes hugely by adding it. And but I like option C is just the cost of it is just astronomical compared to right. And I mean, these poor, in my opinion, the poor residents of Thorsby are already so highly taxed that if we tax them anymore, we might have a revolt.
Okay, so we're basically dealing with 3 different things here. I think the consensus that I'm getting, and Jared would agree with me, we should do the looping in the first year.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
So why do we not just make a motion on that part, and then we don't have to discuss that again?
You can't make a motion.
You can't make a motion.
Can't make a motion.
Or But we could recommend to her to go for it.
That's one of the things that we want in the first year.
Yeah.
Then that's done, that's out of the way.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, sort of pick apart this here. And right now, we're dealing with two things, so if we can get the looping out of the way.
I definitely would agree with that. I think Tracy, it was her suggestion, so Audrey, how do you feel on that one? The looping in the first year.
I mean, I know it's a few people in that area, whatever, that have problems with water and everything, but it's ongoing, and it's maybe time to get it fixed, so you don't have this stagnant water smell and everything else.
So you agree?
I agree fully with doing the looping, and with option B, we discussed this before, that the only thing is that we're throwing the looping into option B.
Well, like I said, like we said, this is just, we're just recommending here.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we could recommend, option B with the looping and without, and you can prepare them both for the 23rd, and we can make a vote at that time. Is that correct, Cindy?
Yeah, well, option B, I can tell you right now, option B with the looping will add, you'll have to do about 0.5% tax increase if you don't change anything else in the budget.
Yeah.
And then that could change come spring when we get assessments, because like I said, assessments are like projected to go up. So that will bring extra revenue into the town. So it could still be a 0% tax increase this year. So, I mean, I think option B with the looping is the wisest choice. It doesn't really affect the budget a ton in year one. And then if anybody else wants to talk about anything else in the budget, we can talk about the other components.
Everybody feel about that?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, I think we got a consensus. So, see you, Don?
If, for the record, if you can recommend that administration explore option B with the looping to bring back the costing on the 23rd for final approval. Now you're directing us to do an action.
Absolutely, that's where we're going. So if somebody would like to make that recommendation?
I would definitely make that recommendation.
Thank you, all in favor? Good, great, good discussion, and, makes it clear as mud for you, right, Cindy?
Oh, no, it's good.
All you have to do now is weave your magic on it.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right. Thank you very much, Jared, for being here.
Thanks, Jared.
That
Thank you.
help you everything in your discussion now? We kind of know where we're going for your plans?
I think he does.
Yeah.
He does, it's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I didn't hear it all.
That's okay. You're good, Jared, you're good.
We're good.
Do Donna, go ahead.
But just hang on, Jared, for a sec, hang on. Your worship, through to Jared. Once we pass, hang on.
Yeah.
Jared, just, once we, sorry, your worship, once we pass the budget on the 23rd, we'll get Christmas over with, and once that budget's passed, Jared, you and I will get together for all the tendering and everything that we need to get rocking and rolling for the spring. Fair call? Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, we'll find targets to get it out early for you.
Yeah, I gotcha. We'll work on it. Yeah, you and I and Chris, appreciate it, and Cindy.
Can I ask a question about the question?
Okay, thanks, Jared.
Merry Christmas.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so now, any other questions regarding the budget in any other areas?
Regarding the budget, no, but the roadway program mapping, there was, Tracy, just 1 second. Oh.
Well, let her go. She's more important.
Well, I want to click, but I can't click. The roadway program, that one, if you click that open, it shows the map.
Yeah, we just gotta change the dates.
Yeah, so that's going to get organized, sorted out? Okay.
Yeah, we were just looking at colors, Counselor Tracy.
Yeah, the colors are correct. But
Let's spread our work.
the information's not quite correct, so.
But we were more focused on the colors.
Okay. I will leave you alone on that one then.
No, you won't. You'll make sure.
Wendy, do you have a question back there, Wendy? What is your question?
In your new budget, did you increase, because there's been a concern, I'm not knocking anyone, how much it costs to salt and sand in this weather? Is there an increase for that in the new budget? So we don't have to worry about that as often? If I'm overstepping, I'm sorry.
That's good.
Did you hear that, Cindy, or do you need it repeated?
Yeah, can you repeat it? Because I couldn't hear her.
Donna said she can answer, but.
Tell
What
me
was the
what I said.
question? Oh, can somebody else say the question? Because Wendy's not loud enough to hit the speaker.
Let our CEO Donna answer.
I can answer it. I can repeat the question and answer it. Miss Wendy, through your worship, through to Cindy, Miss Wendy just wanted to know if we've added salt and sand into the new budget so the residents don't have to worry that we're running out of money to do it. We always have a budget for salt and sand. When it rains like this, we can't predict that. We're also looking for different ways of handling this without salt and sand, because sometimes in the ice they work together, sometimes they don't very well. And when it's raining, we just do our best. That's all you can do. So we're looking at some new products, some new stuff that we may use our budget on in 2026 instead of salt sand. So we'll let you know.
Is that included in the budget?
Oh yeah, we have a certain budget that we use for salt sand. It'll be in 2026. We may put that budget to better use with products that are in the 21st century. How's that?
Okay, I'm just worried about resident safety.
Yeah, no, I get
I
it.
don't want anybody to fall and break something and somebody sue you because the street wasn't done.
Yeah, I get
Okay,
it.
thank you.
You're very welcome.
One more question, I think.
I had a couple questions here, things that, when the Communities in Bloom did the Spirit of Christmas, it came very apparent, we've talked about this, that we will not be having a fire thing on the street like we did before. The fire department was all over us, and probably justifiably so. They didn't like it, and they said that don't ever do that again. Well, we did it. We went through it. So what I'm looking at is that Taylor Park, if we plan to have some more bonfires or anything like that, we should be looking at doing a barbecue pit in there in the ground or something in there. So I'm looking like for the summer, whether we dig out a little area there and bury it 4 feet or something, so that we can put a pit in there, like we have one there from that's at Rurs right now. But we can't do what we did this winter.
I actually have another recommendation on that, and I'm wondering.
Sorry for interrupting you. We're jumping all over the meeting here now, like we're.
No budget consideration.
More new budget, anything for the budget. We're still in the budget, Kevin.
Okay.
We're still in the budget, and I'm just.
Fair enough.
We'll come back to you or anybody else that has anything else that they want to have in the budget.
It did seem off the wall.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. I'm thinking that if we as a council decide that's the way we want to go, we want to have a barbecue area in Taylor Park, we need to dedicate some money in there and improve on it, because we can't go the way we are right now.
Agreed. Mr. Mayor, before we do that, though, I think you just missed the hand in the back, because I think it's taking a step back before we go there.
I do have a question about the underground and surface rehabilitation. This gentleman here that works with the Public Works, you were saying that the line from the water main to the CC wouldn't have to be replaced. Like we could reuse that existing line. Aren't those all copper?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm a hydrovac operator. I've been in the industry for 12 years, and I've done thousands of service calls within the city of Edmonton, and replacing that line or having a problem from the water line to the CC on the resident's property, that's a very rare issue. And if that does save a lot of money, not digging up and replacing those lines and reusing those existing lines, I personally would think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And really quick, just as well, just because he wasn't able to attend, he didn't know about it, wasn't able to attend.
Sorry, I couldn't see you in the corner there. You were probably jumping up and down and.
Are there any further questions you have? I know you live on which street did you?
Yes, I actually do. I'm a homeowner on 54th Street, so it's kind of funny that I came today, because this is all topics that relate to me. And obviously, trying to save money is definitely a concern of mine as being a taxpayer. But also, this is a road of great concern to me, because honestly, when I drive down the street, it feels like driving through a war zone, there's so many potholes. But I appreciate that you guys are very concerned about, the spending on this project, because, that obviously affects everyone, not just me on this road. And, well, it seems like you guys are doing a pretty good job at it, so.
Thank you.
We affectionately call it Beirut, actually, like driving through Beirut.
That's right, I learned that. I backtracked that far, yeah, I know that's why I said something. Yeah.
We appreciate you.
It's right behind Jesse. Thank you.
I do have something, and I brought it up before. Until we decide anything about Taylor Park, Nathan stressed to me again that in the middle of that pit, or of the circle, that it can have a fire on it. He has got this, the concrete was built for that. He said, I'm just going to say, that it was rebar and everything put into the, I haven't even looked at it. The outside, there's leaks or something in the concrete. In the middle, that was made so there could have a fire there. So I think we should get, he said, he's got all the engineering specs on it, that we should look at that before we decide to do anything. I have never seen the plans or anything, but I don't want somebody to come back now and say, well, I told you guys you could have it.
Fair, that's fair.
If it's there, it could be great. If
I
it's not,
he told the same thing as me, and so if I can finish what I was gonna say on this whole thing, that's kind of what I was leading to. We just need to check that out, find it out, whether we're gonna go with, if that sufficed, okay, then we don't need any money in the budget, but this is all part of the
investigate it before
process
the
here.
23rd, right?
So what I'm saying is, okay, we've got 2 weeks now to talk to Nathan, whoever, or somebody, an engineer, or Jared, if need be, who can answer that question for us. Because I don't believe that anybody in this room is an engineer.
No.
And I don't believe that Nathan's an engineer, nothing against Nathan, when he said it was designed, but I would hate like heck to,
spend money.
have a fire there, and the first thing happened is everything cracks all the way around there.
So that was why my hand was up, is that aside, because I cannot speak to that either. Okay.
So if we can check that out.
If we had the fire pit that was created, and we were to put a steel bottom on it, and we being obviously not us, but, and feet, just like most people have in their backyard, is a footed, would that not, if the engineering is not what Nathan says, would that not be a cheaper and a more reasonable resolution and still serve its purpose?
Would you put that on the gravel, or would you put that on top of the cement sidewalk?
It would go on the cement sidewalk, just like anybody would put it in their cement side in their backyard, because it's got that.
It's raised.
It's raised.
On feet.
Yeah, on
Your
feet.
heat goes, it's just first
Like,
down.
So I think what we need to do is, like, we've got 2 weeks yet, but I'm bringing up this, if we could direct CEO Donna to check that out for us. Is that correct,
So
Donna?
noted, your worship.
Could you take a metal detector over the circle and just see if it picks up on the?
Yeah, but rebar is rebar, that doesn't matter. You can put any kind of rebar in there, it comes down to the cement that was poured. And if you're gonna have a cement truck come in there and turn around and cement the sidewalks and everything, did you happen to see when it was being poured, a different kind of cement truck come in there and do a different kind of cement? You
Because I
don't
know
know. So if Nathan says he's got the specs, let her see the specs, and if they don't match, then look at a different option.
Because when the Chamber of Commerce had the MOA for that, they didn't do anything with cement. They just did beautification and that, right? So that wouldn't affect it either. So it's either what Nathan's group did is what it should be.
And that spot was totally intended for a fire pit, so
It
I don't know what
could be-
they did there.
I can talk to Nathan. I mean, he said he would pull the specs and everything. He has it all on the computer. I could go get that for you and bring it to you so you can submit it to somebody who knows what they're looking at, because I certainly don't.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna, like I say, we're direct CEO Donna to check that out. If it doesn't work, we'll look at some other options, and then we can bring it back for the 23rd. And would you like a motion to that effect, CEO Donna?
Jenny's got something.
Go ahead, Jen.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, point of order, if you did make a motion, if you could different wording, just like specific wording to exactly what you wanted to.
I would just, your worship, through to my clerk, I would just classify the motion as direct administration to investigate the ring circle in Taylor Park for fire.
Okay.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah, because in the county, you're just asking us to do stuff. We know what we have to do.
Sure.
I'm not cognizant or confident that it can be used as that, but we'll take a look. I also have some files here that may or may not indicate. So first, thank you, Councillor Audrey, for doing
I didn't know I opened such a can of worms there.
Yeah, well,
I'll be more careful.
Better to
I'd make that motion that
Okay, thank you.
EAO, Donna,
All in favor?
look after it in regards to talking to Nathan, getting the specs, anything to do with Taylor Park and the cement pad.
The recommendation, yeah.
Where the fire is.
yes, recommended I investigate the fire pad that has been so designated as a fire pad. How's that?
Thank you.
Good,
All in
thank you.
favor?
Okay.
Evan, you're all in favor. You made it, so I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
May I add to
We're
that? May I add to that, just on a side note? I think, council should maybe look at putting $1,000 or $2,000 aside, so that if the cement works out great, we can actually have a proper fire pit.
We can
built.
bring it back at that, for the budget.
In the budget.
I think we just leave it the way it is right now, and then once she.
All I'm getting at, yeah,
Once she gives us the information.
All I'm getting at, Mayor Darrell, is instead of having a back ass end of a truck sitting in the middle of Taylor
Oh, I
Park,
know.
we've got a proper ring that's in there that looks nice, neat, clean.
Isn't it one that was all cut?
Yes,
The
and it
word-
says Thorsby
the word
and everything.
Well, we can put that
They
on
spent
our,
like $1,000. No, they already did. Look at it. It's a custom
Yeah, Donna, go
fire
ahead.
pit.
Just on another note from Nathan, now I don't know if this is true or not, the Lions are looking at, I don't know if they were thinking about the one that's at Worth, that they would get a trailer for it, and it would be available for community use, and putting a bottom into it. This is just all inspection that the Lions were looking into, something like that.
okay, so are we specifying Taylor Park barbecue pit, fire pit, or are we looking at something that's towable around town? Like, I'd like to separate the two.
Yeah, we'll just stick to the one item right now. Okay. Okay, that's an option for sure.
Thanks, Councillor.
Okay, yeah, let's,
If I may, your worship.
Go ahead, say it, Donna.
Before I blow
Fuse?
brain cell. We have a fire and fireworks bylaw. That bylaw with the specifications was sent so that community groups know what they can use. That fire bylaw was not adhered to. I did do some fancy talking to the fire service, because we did not need another debacle of the 2014 evacuation of fire. So there's also, I'll just soliloquy for a second, just give me a second, because I talk slow when I'm thinking. There's a spot in the back of Taylor Park as well. If we dig down a 4-foot ring to put that ring in and gravel it up, that's probably the best place to put it, but not to worry, I'll investigate both. So I let it go this time. There'll be, with all due respect, administration will not allow a fire pit to be drug around on a trailer. Sorry, folks, it's not gonna happen. Either that, or if you wish that to happen, you have to amend the fire bylaw. I will not go against the fire bylaw because it has been vetted and it is for a reason. So I'm not being disproportionate, I'm not being contrary. If you wish something different to happen, you need to change the bylaw. And with all due respect, I'll fight you tooth and nail. It's just for safety, and I can't break the bylaw, I can't go against the bylaw, otherwise my career's in jeopardy.
So therefore,
They
before
weren't happy with fire department.
the Lions start any project like this, they should check with you to make sure that they're in compliance with what they want to do.
Any group in town should be doing that right now. You should be coming in and- That's
You
what I know.
can say the spirit of Christmas didn't do it.
That is not. And there were some comments made that the fire and I heard, that's why I've had to go see talk to the deputy chief, and that's fine, I can handle all that. All I'm saying is, if we have bylaws, especially with fire, I'm not prepared to mess with that. And I'm not being difficult for council.
No.
So there's also, as I said, an opportunity in Taylor Park to dig a fire pit into the dirt in the back corner. That's where the original fire pit was. So I'll investigate all this so-called engineering stuff. And it's not a problem for me, because I'd like to know the answers too. I'm just indicating to council on record that the CAO will not disagree with the bylaw here unless council changes it. Go ahead, Jane.
Just to add on to what Donna said, so when she said about it, I remember Leduc County Fire themselves vetted this bylaw. So when Leduc County Fire makes any decisions, they're happy with the bylaw that was created by Donna and previous CPO Dan.
I'm glad this is council hall, because this is informal, so I mean, the way we're talking here is fine, but.
It's a good discussion.
It's discussion, so I mean, you're absolutely right. Everything you said there, Donna, and I mean, they came over to me and I got the same thing from them, and we just won't let it happen again, that's all.
That is correct. I just want to make clear for the administrative standpoint, I can't break a bylaw, folks.
Yes.
Fair, that's fair.
I can't.
100%.
And if you want, I can't.
All right, so, anybody else has anything, but have we turned to anything else on the budget to bring back to Cindy for the 23rd? Any more questions, any more things you want to put in there yet?
Now's the time.
If everybody recalls when Ed Harlech was here, when you had the questions here about the 4 questions, one of the questions that he had was the possibility, since we closed down our little dump over there, he thought it might be a nice idea if we would have some free dump cards for the residents. Now, I don't know whether anybody wants to go down that way, but it was one of his recommendations, and I just want to quote the discussion that he brought up there.
I brought up the idea at a meeting, I don't know if it was remembered or not, that maybe add $1 or $2 to the town utilities. And then the town would issue the card at no cost. My thought on that is you're paying $25 for a card right now.
Yes.
But if you added, say, $2, pick a number, $2, every month to the utilities, okay? You're gonna build a bit of a bank account there. I do not know how many cards you sell currently.
You can take that figure right away, Councilor Kevin.
I was just gonna say, I maybe shouldn't have even put my hands up. I can tell you, I believe it's around, and Cindy can probably correct me, I think we pay around 2,000 per batch?
Per batch, yeah, I do about 2-3 batches a year.
And a batch of,
$2,000 dollars for a batch.
and a batch lasts a year?
No.
No.
I can do this a couple, 3 times a year.
I think, Council.
Okay, so I'm going the other way, guys. I'm
Yeah.
not looking at a card. I'm looking at adding, every month you get your utility bill, everybody a flat rate of $2 pays into that. If they need a card, they come down, they get the card from you guys. That's why I'm asking for sort of a figure.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, if 10 people use the card once a month, and you've got 961 people in town here that are paying taxes, or whatever the heck the number is, you're gonna come out ahead in the long run.
With respect,
Providing whatever
The only issue I see.
whatever they charge us for
yeah,
that use.
but for the people that never use the dump, they're already pissed off about having to pay $8 for
We heard loud and clear.
organics, right?
Clear
I
about
think-
people with the garbage that they don't use the,
Yeah.
you know, we said, well, and I don't use it, so why do I have to pay? It's one and all.
And you've got her hand up?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
Me?
Cindy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we sell about, depending on the year, about $4,000 worth of dump cards.
Right.
So if you were to add $2 to everybody's bill, there's 400 and I think 30 some bills that go out every month. including commercial. I don't know that only just the residential, but, so you'd bring in an extra $10,000, and then if you told everybody they could have a free dump card anytime they wanted one, I can tell you that we would spend way more than $10,000 because they'd be at our door every 5 minutes getting a dump card.
I think it's a bad idea all around, and I wish I wouldn't have brought it up. Go ahead, Chris.
I just wanted to add, if I'm assuming we're talking about the Sunnybrook dump, they don't take certain things like trees and leaves, any kind of organics, none of that stuff, right?
Well, I mean, you've got, how many residents have a truck? Wendy, do you have a truck? No. Yeah, so you'd never use it. You wouldn't be very
Well, he could take that, we have a trailer, get home to the van.
And $2 a month would be $24.
We had a lot of flack, I had a lot of people say to me, I don't wanna pay that $8 for the
If you were
garbage. And a lot of people said, I'm not gonna use it, I'm not gonna have it, I compost in my backyard, I don't need the organic part, and, it's one and all, so.
And to be fair, Kelmar has one now, but they don't have organics in their garbage. Like, they don't have organics pick up.
Okay. So, I think.
Okay, speaking on that, though, Calmer also, once a year, has their big item pickup. But they don't just allow 2 items or 3. You put out anything you want out on the street, furniture, whatever, and they come around and pick it up. I don't know how much that costs for the town.
Your worship, through the Councilor Audrey, with 3 items maximum pickup, and we do quite a few, you're looking at about $6,700 for us to do that.
Yeah. Free.
Yeah,
I think
there's no cost to the resident.
It's free to the residents.
Yeah.
I think the answer is it's user pays. If you want the card, you pay for it.
Exactly.
I think that's just the way it has to be.
And garbage and water and sewer should pay for themselves.
Yeah.
That in a municipality, that shouldn't be subsidized by your taxes.
I agree.
I went to a dump on the weekend with my friend, and she had regular garbage to drop off, and she also had a water cooler to drop off, and they said that would be an additional $20 for her to drop that off. So not everything is taken at the dump just on the card.
No.
There's still extra charges.
That's what Councilor Renner said, yeah, there's a lot of things they won't take, so.
No, it was towards John.
Like even your clippings, if you've got, pine cones in there, don't take them. Cause they don't deteriorate, I guess. All right, well, anyhow, I'm not gonna bring anything else more up.
Mechanics spin, so I don't even know why we're talking about it.
Okay, somebody else's turn. Anybody have any other questions here? Anything else they wanna bring up?
Not I.
I've done my damage, I guess.
Just need.
Sorry,
No, okay, Your Worship. Actually, Your Worship, I'm enjoying this discussion of the budget, in all honesty, because it's robust, and as we grow, and we are gonna grow, and as we get more sophisticated with our water distribution, we're into that. We've just gotta keep an eye on things, and we're having a great conversation, so this doesn't bother me at all. I have to go take, some anti-anxiety medication, but that'll be fine. All good, Your Worship, thank you. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
When you do the budget next year, can it be more publicly aware that the public can attend?
We, Your Worship, through the Wendy, we broadcast it,
I
we
didn't know
publish
it.
Yeah.
And obviously this gentleman didn't use it. So
Yeah, we broadcast it, we publish it, we put it in the paper.
I didn't see it.
The one thing that we can add is into our monthly summary is that we can add that as well. It's coming up, right? Whoever does that summary.
You'd wanna do that with the budget. We'll have to do that in March and then you'd have to do it again in August, September, October. You'd have to do it 3 times. Each of you as councilors would have to,
Do it once.
depending on the time of year, you can do that in your report. Yeah.
That's one line. To me, I'd be willing to do that.
Okay, so Cindy, you've got everything you need there, see if Cindy?
Yeah, if nobody else has any questions, I will draft up the final budget to bring forward on the 23rd.
Okay, Councilor Miller, do you have,
I know it's cold where you are, so I have a question for you to heat you up, Okay?
It's not cold
Okay.
here. It's warm. We have no snow.
Okay, if there's no more questions on the budget, then.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, he has a question.
There it is. So my question to you, Cindy, is regarding our budget, okay? Can you tell me or figure out, what is the cost of the town budget spent on town wages?
On wages?
I'm just looking for just wages, not maintenance costs, not gas, not
Oh, it was
anything else.
definitely in there, yeah.
Just on wages.
Your worship, what are you looking for specifically, Councillor Brown?
I'm trying to get a ratio of what the town's taking in and what the town's paying out. So I'm only being specific just with wages.
The budget for 2025 is 234.5 for wages, salaries and benefits.
No, salaries and benefits total are $1 million.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, Cindy.
What is that?
So it's $1 million just for staff, Cindy? Just for staff?
Yep. So salaries and wages, if you look at the budget templates, that's salaries, wages, and benefit. That's benefits too. So because that's a cost for having employees.
Yeah.
So for administration, like general government, including council, is $236,500. For public works.
Could you just give me a roundabout number?
Yeah,
Like
$1 million.
I don't need it. Okay, because I'm not looking for a breakdown.
So if you go like here and this.
But it's on, I'm just saying it's on, you can see it on the template. Every section has salaries, wages, and benefits. So if you can look.
Just add them all up.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have your answer.
And we're unionized, makes a difference.
That was the other part of
Makes a
it.
difference.
Anything else? Going once, going twice. Gone. All right, we'll move on to the council reports. 7.1, myself, I have absolutely zero. I went to all the meetings we had, our regular cow and budget, but I had no delegations, I didn't attend anything, so mine is pretty short and sweet. So, we'll move right on to, I guess there's no questions about that. Move on to, Councilor Levens, yourself.
I had 2 library meetings other than our regular meetings. One was the regular meeting, which was an hour long, talking about budget and certain staffing things. And then we did have another emergency Zoom meeting for an hour that was just strictly budget, going over some changes that had been brought up and going through things with Cindy. And then that's kind of been, other than our librarian leaving and another staff member, the extent of it with all the library meetings. So very, very budget focused and getting some last things purchased that needed to be purchased in the library. That sounds about my first one. How did it?
It's a brief synopsis, that's all they need.
Anybody have any questions? No? All right, Councilor Musson.
All right, so I attended all regularly scheduled council meetings for the month of November, and my report is for the month of November, not from cow to cow, because I'm just kind of like that. So, November 3rd, I did Commissioner of Oaths. I also attended a Communities in Bloom meeting. November 4th, I went to the library meeting as a volunteer to help transition to appoint Councillor Levens into the library board. And November 5th, I went to the seniors luncheon with Bob Layton and Shane Blakely. I also then attended a volunteer meeting for the Christmas event. November 6th, I attended Leduc Regional Housing Foundation organizational meeting and I was assigned to the governance board. November 10th, I did Commissioner of Oaths. The 11th was Remembrance Day service. After the service, we had another volunteer meeting for the Christmas event. November 13th, I did Bingo Paymaster. November 18th, Commissioner of Oaths. The 18th, again, I went to a volunteer meeting for the Christmas event. The 19th, I did Commissioner of Oaths. November 22nd was our budget meeting here. November 26th, Leduc Regional Housing Foundation Governance Meeting. I accepted the chairperson position for the current year. November 27th, Leduc Regional Housing Board meeting, updates on finances and lack of availability in units. Corey Gilbert shall be offered the position of member at large. And November 28th, I volunteered to work the Thorsby Library book sale.
Thank you. Any comments, questions?
I have a question more on is there a template for something like that?
No, I just do it in my phone, on my notes.
Okay.
And I just go day by day through my calendar and see what did I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you wanna write it bullet point, there is a copy, if you prefer to do it by hand, there's a copy in your orientation binder attached to the page on it.
Orientation binder. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Or I can email you the digital copy, or if you wanna just email me your.
Yeah, and then I sent it to Jessie and she works her magic
And she
on
does
it.
it all for you.
Okay, thank you.
Just don't send it in paragraphs.
Yeah, not paragraph.
Point, gotcha.
Go ahead.
So I have a question for Councillor Tracy. I've been asked by a number of residents, when you're giving your report, you seem to do like 3 or 4 times more than everybody else is reporting on. Okay. So is it just town business, or are you reporting on everything, your volunteer, the whole shot and caboodle?
I've
The
reported.
reason I'm asking, I'm being trying to be, is because we get paid per thing that we do. So people go, well, she just listed off 20 things, is she getting paid 20 times? Okay,
So what I did
So when
start
I
to
read
do at
that-
the end of last term, I did add, and I didn't do it to this report, that some of these items are a volunteer, not a paid position.
Well, that's what I've been.
I can add that into my report. I will try to remember to do that. But yes, a lot of it, it's all something to do that I've done to contribute to the community. If it wasn't a paid position, it was a volunteer position, and it's only to the benefit of the community. Or to say that I'm out there. If I'm at the elementary school Christmas concert, I'll say that, because it just says that I'm taking part in the community.
It's just a question that's been asked a few times.
Yeah, actually, I think it was asked before. I think Deputy Rob asked that question
Yeah,
before.
and I did start writing this as a, what was volunteer, but I forgot to do that.
You did it in some of them, like library meeting as a volunteer is there.
Yeah, no, I used to make a last sentence.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I don't know if, say, Donna, can I ask a question here? So do you think we should be reporting this differently, or?
First of all, Your Worship, through the council, I would appreciate you having your reports written, because it goes in the council packages. It's important they're written, and it's important we have them in the packages. That's just a reminder, not a chastisation. And if, I would suggest that, if anybody asks, they certainly can, I would never answer these questions. That'd be the mayor and council to answer these questions about who's doing what. I don't answer these questions. There's nothing wrong with throwing a line in the middle of there and going community commitment, community volunteer commitment, like there in a couple of your reports, Councilor Tracy, and then the rest. At any time, any member of the public can audit your details so they can see. Just add a line in, because you have the template, just add a line in and say my community contribution. That's all. And I don't have to done that before.
And where would you want Commissioner Vogt to go?
That is part of your duties as a counselor. That's part of your, you're getting your $800 a month stipend or part of it.
And so when you are Commissioner Vogt, you're not allowed to accept pay, you're not allowed to accept a gift, nothing. So it's just an active duty.
Yeah, that's part of your monthly wages, because upon swearing in, you're on Commissioner's oath. So that's all part of what you get your $800 for. Your $800 a month that you voted on is for preparing for the council meeting, Commissioner for oath. You're getting paid to go to committee meetings that you've been assigned to, for sure, and the rest is community work.
Jesse, when would you like this by? Because I'll admit, I totally blanked, we were supposed to do it, so
No,
I
it's all
apologize.
good. The last regular meeting, I think I gave, I wanna say.
Yeah, we have a.
Yeah, she did give a schedule.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think I
okay.
gave a schedule. It was either at the last regular or maybe at the organizational meeting. So I'd prefer it at least by the end of the Wednesday before a meeting, or before a TAL. So like it would have been on, the 3rd last month. For next month, it would be the 7th. But, I mean, if you guys are super pressed for time, you're on vacation, or you're having a hard time, or your computer's down or something like that, it's not gonna kill me if you let me know.
As a rule,
I
I think,
need
yeah.
it later, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure that gets done.
Okay, anything else, Kevin? You good with that?
Yeah, it was just questions that people are asking me, and I'm going, you only get paid for what you do,
Yeah.
so.
I can add more detail, but I think that's plenty if they can.
I don't think they were looking for more detail. I
Yeah,
think they were looking for more of what you're doing for the county.
The only difference is,
I get your volunteer work, I get that, I understand that.
the only difference is, and I don't wanna say it just to blow my horn in here, but on the mayor, it's a little differently. I have to do some public appearances, it's part in there and it's a different deal. I'm expected to do that, and depending if you give a speech or you do anything, so mine is a little different than all of you guys. So just point that out.
No, and I accept that,
Yeah.
Mayor, it just, the thing that was brought to me was, well,
Yeah, no,
she's got a list and everybody else has one or two things. And I'm going, she's putting in her volunteer work and everything else. That's good for the community, that's good for you, no issues with that, but people are asking.
yeah.
So I'm going, well,
It's all
I'm
about-
gonna tell you what I'm doing and that's it.
Okay. All right, it's, up to you, Mr. Councilor Ellis. You got anything on your report?
My report, I've attended all meetings, and I'll go back to a year and a half ago.
Yes, you did.
Not regarded, but it's there.
Just a couple, I think.
Two.
Okay.
So, I don't know if this will be on this one or not, but I attended Yellowhead Regional Library Board. That was different. That was,
We can do it for you, Council.
so, I was surprised, and I've got a call into the lady, the secretary or whatever, in regards to that board. But we basically just, everybody was there, new councilors and everything, and we just voted in the new board, and then it was kind of goodbye. And then the new board took over, and I'm going, okay, well, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Am I not part of this, or
Right.
am I part of this?
You're right.
So, that's not the way it was sort of laid out, it was just, yeah, we're just gonna vote in the new councilors and trustees and blah, blah, blah. So I've got a call into her, so she said she'd call her back, so. I've talked to 3 businesses, 3 owners that own businesses in town that do not live here. They have some concerns, regarding, basically, they have no say in town, but they are taxpayers. So I've given them my view. So if somebody comes up to you and tells you a different view, that's their problem, that's not my problem. I've told them, if you live in town, you have a say, and if you don't live in town, you have a voice, but you don't have a say. Am I correct in saying that?
No.
Well, you do have a voice, but there's nothing that, if you're living outside of town.
Every municipality with businesses, typically, unless they're on a chamber board, that's where you have your say. That's why you have a chamber for businesses.
Which we do not have, correct?
That's correct. In Leduc, all of us as businesses, because we had a business license and everything, that's where you have your say is inside a chamber, which is a good thing. That's where you want your say as a business. I can tell you that, when I was, chamber president, the businesses came to me when the city of Leduc was gonna change a truck route and shut it down. And it would have cost a bunch of businesses on the truck route a ton of money, they would have lost business. So they came to us to lobby for them, which we did. We had 40 people in the room. I told them, you're gonna make trucks go around the wrong way, it's gonna take longer, businesses are gonna falter. And we invited the city capitulated, right? And it was a very calm way. So that's where we want our businesses to start up again, is in a chamber. And then technically, because they're a trade group, they can also lobby council. It's the best way to do it. So they do have a say through the chamber, and it's actually a very good say, because they also have a say from a Alberta standpoint in the chamber, and a federal standpoint in the chamber. They could influence policy because the chamber is very, very powerful, right?
Mhm.
So, it may behoove, some of them to think about starting up the chamber again, right? Because it's,
Well, that's why I'd like to clarify,
Mm.
we no longer have
Right.
a chamber, so
yeah,
you have a voice, but you don't have a say.
that's right.
So I've been very, very adamant how I've said that.
Mm.
Well, you're
And a lot of the stuff
and,
about
I mean,
the
they can't vote in the election, that's another thing, right?
So,
That's unfortunate, that's under the MGA, we have no control over that, but, you know.
but I was asked a lot of questions regarding that, Darryl.
Sure.
And it was just, nothing I can do about it. You guys are part of the chamber, I had nothing to do with that, and to the best of my knowledge, it's closed down. If you want to start it up, then you have to come into the office and
Absolutely.
talk to council and CEO and everybody else about it.
Yeah, and I mean, anybody, sorry, your worship, through Councilor Kevin, anybody can start up a chamber, so we don't say yes or no, which is good. And they can have one of the councilors on board. In Leduc we did, we had a county councilor and a Leduc councilor. They had no vote, but they brought information back from the municipality into the chamber and then brought back chamber information back in. And Councilor Tracy was our rep here for 3 years. And highly functional chambers. Cindy and I are both chamber presidents of big chambers in our past. Highly functional chambers do two things. Number one, they educate their members. So everything's about educating the member. Every dollar you raise is for educating your members, whether it be for income tax stuff, whether it be for how to help your employees, whatever that looks like. This chamber, I will just say, chose to build money for a park. That's all I'm going to say about it. I have no formal judgment on it, no outward judgment on it. But we're starting to attract more business, and that's what a chamber is for. So if the chamber restarted, now all of a sudden you can vote at the provincial level, whereas where you want to be as well as a chamber. It's huge. And if I'm missing anything, CFO Cindy, let me know, because we're at the same level there for quite a while. But that's where a chamber is at. So education, lunch and learns, and there's a lot of new businesses that start up that may not be working well, and may need some extra advice. They may need staffing, whatever that is. And so that's where we need to restart, not us, but someone needs to restart that chamber and run it as a proper trade organization. I'll just say it that way. I'm being very careful. Being very careful. All right.
So that's basically where I stood. It just,
Yeah.
If we were to have the election, that's what I was running on, was with the businesses, because they don't have a say through the chamber. And I know a lot of them are still interested in it.
Oh, I'm
So
sure
whether
they
it's,
are.
whether we can get that going or help them get that going, or whatever way.
Well, I mean, we'd support them, but I mean, it's up to somebody to think about it.
That's right. You got to be careful as a council.
Okay.
You would definitely, if someone wanted to rock and roll with it, we definitely support it. Even administration, we would support it for sure, 100%. There just has to be that will with the businesses to want to start up a chamber. They have to restart it again. This is about the third or fourth time we restarted a chamber in this town over my lifetime here, even before I was here, you know, in my contract capacity. It's just quite interesting. There was a move into the Leduc-Wetaskiwin Regional Chamber. They weren't really interested. They'd say if they could help us fine, but they weren't really interested. So we're too far out. And but not saying if a chamber got together, they could host a luncheon and do that rather than belong to the Leduc-Wetaskiwin Chamber. You host a luncheon, right, and bring everybody this way. There's lots of opportunity for that, but someone has to
Step it up, yeah.
step it up. That is correct. But glad you brought that to the table, Your Worship, through the Council, Kevin.
One of the questions that was asked me of this, just me out talking to people, is the sign gonna stay up or is it coming down?
Which sign, sir?
Chamber of Commerce sign with all that.
Well,
That was a good question.
we almost.
Like we do have two signs in town. We have a Thorsby one and then we have a chamber one.
Well, I mean, they paid, the people paid a fee to put their names on there.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say, I mean, it stayed up there for 4 or 5 years after the last council, forward.
Like, we own that land, do we not?
No, that's Alberta Transportation.
We own a little bit by the tree line around, transportation.
Yep.
Yes, your worship, that's correct. I will say, your worship, through to Councillor Kevin, we almost, how can I say this? That's where we were originally gonna put the electronic sign, because I had very good information that that sign was gonna be sawed down. Right, Councillor Tracy? And because the power is right there. The chamber came to fruition, and of course, it's not our sign. It'll probably stay there, we don't own it. I don't know what direction they provided in their dissolution for that sign, but there's folks that have paid, I don't know when it was run out. Their annual fee to be on the sign. I have no jurisdiction on the sign unless the chamber made specific resolutions in their dissolution that the town would do this or this or this, so it's gotta stay where it's at. That's why we had to move the
And if there
electronic.
were, obviously, they haven't communicated that with you guys.
No, they have not. We have received no direction. And, the electronic sign was supposed to go there. They kinda had all the wrong permits at the time, so that's where we're at.
At least I get a good understanding of what I can say to people.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Any questions for Councilor Williams? No? Councilor Watson?
I'm going to refer to Donna. You don't have to read it.
That's fine. That's fine. Everybody can see it. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, thank you. I just want to say one thing about these. I don't know if people have seen the target, what we talked about before putting the council stuff in there. Have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
For October? Okay. And I've done one for November. I did one for November. You're up next
Okay.
for December. And then we'll go all the way down the line, right? So I just did 2 in a row there just to catch up to it. So I just I just sent the other one over to Shauna last night, and you'll see November in there. So now December won't be until January because we have to wait until our December 23rd meeting, right? So then you can take a stab at it. I'll send you the template for it. And you can see the it's quite simple the way I did it. I just, yeah, go ahead.
I was contacted by 2 different residents that really appreciated that being done.
Okay.
Very excited about it, so
Okay, good. So
I look forward to that.
I know the target was appreciated. They liked it. So I mean, I could go ahead and do it for you guys all the way down, but that's not the purpose of it. I don't think.
I agree.
Connect 39.
Connect 39. What did I say?
Target.
I keep saying it, sorry.
Okay, so anyhow, just want to make that comment. So can I get a motion to accept the council reports for information? Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right, CA reports. CA Donna.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. So month of November, what I started restructuring my reports in is projects, because that's what we're moving into is projects. So Project Morningstar, which is the development, lots of meetings with the developer, usually every Monday. They come in, they're busy with their lot in Madison right now. They've had Fortis and ATCO there today. Had a resident concern today about didn't want dirt on the road. Fortis and ATCO didn't put dirt in the road. They were on the land. They came off to clean their trucks, and then the resident was upset that the water ran by the resident's home. They know they have to clean things up. We mitigated that. So we're looking at the environmental plan edits. The floodplain study leaves with the Alberta government to acknowledge the mitigation and a release into Weed Creek. We're under a wildland flood study right now that will be ready in 2026. What I was concerned about is they don't do overland flood mitigation in the study. I indicated the 45 or 47 flood, the 1990s flood, that it was overland. And that's fine. We were hoping Weed Creek would blow its banks. Weed Creek is not going to blow its banks. It may in the low-lying areas when there are no banks, but Weed Creek's not going to blow its banks without a whole lot of help for the most part. And that help will come from overland flooding. The 90s flood was mitigated through our drainage canal there, which was good. So they didn't want to do that because it wasn't part of their scope. I wrestled with them for quite a while and indicated it has to be in an addendum or a footnote because that's how Thorsby is going to flood, 100-year flood. So it is working on that, but it's going well. We're working with the engineers to adjust and to provide more information on the area structure plan. We've set timeline dates for 2026, presenting the area structure plan to council, maybe close to February. As well, we can look at special meetings and that sort of stuff too, once things are really rolling with this area structure plan. The next is subdivision authority, so we might have to call some special meetings to get this through, because they want to be constructing in June. And liaising with our planner to make sure all documents meet Thorsby specification and our engineers. So we've done 2 edits, so their planners are looking at part of the edits for these. You will see it when it's in the format that we want you to see it in. The one thing we don't want is showing it an area structure plan to council when our subject matter experts aren't ready to advance it. So there's that. Project Bulk Water Station, I have the signs coming this week. They'll be here this Friday. There's 2 signs, 4 feet by 5 feet. One will go by the bulk station, the other one will go, we'll figure that out, close to the bulk station. They look really nice. Denton's law firm is sponsoring the sign, and they have their logo on it. The logo is the Canadian, what is it, Cindy? I'm sorry, I don't have the name of it here. The Canadian.
CCBF, so the Canadian Community Building Fund.
There we go. I missed the letter. And of course, Sunnybrook Welding, I phoned them, asked them if they would appreciate us naming them as sponsors. They did charge us for the steel pipes that go around the station. They're 4 feet underground, 4 feet on top, filled with cement. But I also know how much they cost, and Sunnybrook gave us a deal. So they were excited, very excited. So once Cindy and her finance team let me know that everything's in readiness, that we can create a fake account and have probably Chris drive his truck with a tote underneath and just hit a card and see if it works. We'll have this open before Christmas, that I promise you. So all the card readers are installed, IT's hooked up and ready, Monera Simonics ready to accept payment. Info sheets will be ready for the next week or so for those who want to set up accounts. They set them up on their own. We don't help them because that's all cloud-based accounting. And everything's in, branding is on the station, sponsor signage is in final edit, and it's being delivered this week. So final tests and runs are scheduled for next week, we hope, and a successful station will be ready and operational before Christmas, and it will be operational before Christmas. We do have a landowner that's very excited in Lone Winter. We will have him come. I have a bit of an opening ceremony for it, nothing, you know, no cakes or cookies, but if everybody wants to go to the pub after for a coffee or something, that would be lovely. Our budget, of course, working with the CFO on the changes that council is requiring, with the revised information from engineers, or work with Public Works, and we have all these discussions all the time. You can be assured of that. Send deliveries are ready for the RCMP and fire coming up. We do that every year. The grant through the County of Wetaskiwin and us has been sent for water distribution. It's a big one. Both CAOs, Scott and myself, are meeting with the Assistant Deputy Minister, and just for protocol's sake, CAOs can meet with ADMs, and we will take a mayor with us if it's a minister. That's the protocol. You usually want to meet with the Assistant Deputy Ministers with the lobby group, which is good, before Christmas, because we need to talk about some of the changes that the province has made with one of the bills for water relicensing. And I'm just going to keep it vague right now because we need to discuss the briefing tomorrow, and of course I'll advise council on more detail. It's not confidential or anything, but I'm just giving you the highlights. And we also need to talk about adjusting our water license potentially to include agriculture and commercial, because it doesn't allow that. At this time, there's 2 companies looking at us right now that'll take all our water from the license. Well, we definitely don't want that, so we've got to move with the Minister of the Environment to talk about that. As always, lots of queries from residents, impromptu meetings, support consultation with the Legion, Communities of Bloom Christmas Spirit Evening on the 5th of December. I MC the Bob Lathan event, and there was lots of folks there. It was lots of fun. And that's it for November. Thank you, Council. I'll stand for questions.
All right, any questions for Sarah Donna?
The sign that you're putting up, like going on 4x4 4x6s are attached to the fence line?
4 by
For the
5.
bulk wall?
The sign is 4 wide by 5 tall. One will go against the bulk station. They're all, whether they're outdoor signs and they're reflective. The other sign will be, outside the bulk station. We haven't decided where. We gotta do some looking around, close to there for it. And that will be the secondary sign, but I gotta be careful, I don't have it too close to the highway, otherwise I gotta get a permit, and I really don't wanna do that if I can help it. So we'll kind of play around with that.
How's it gonna be mounted, though, Don? On steel or pile wood?
They'll be mounted with wooden stakes. The sign company sends these goofy little, aluminum things. We won't use those. Chris and I have talked about attaching the signs to probably plywood and then staking it in so that they have good backing. But they're pretty sturdy signs.
How big are the signs?
4 feet wide by 5 feet tall.
2 or what?
2.
And Donna, sorry, and Donna, those are just temporary signs, right, for the opening, and then we're gonna get a permanent sign eventually, correct?
We were thinking about that. That was part of my plan, but you know what? They look so darn good that we may not have to, Cindy. We might have to replace for wear and tear, but they're going to be up for 3 months, and then we'll reevaluate. But I'm not sure we need to because I think they have everything they do. So trying to save money because we've got them sponsored right now. So yeah, thanks for that reminder. I'm going to sit on my heels with that one a little bit and see. We've kind of designed it to fit the whole bill, so.
You have a question at the back there, Don.
Yes, sir.
Yes, regarding overland flooding, because as we know in the 90s, there was a devastating situation. After that assessment is done by the provincial government, which you were saying is just for like the creek, it's not actually for overland flooding.
Great.
Has there been any mitigation measures since the 90s for overland flooding in this area?
Your worship, I'm sorry, I don't know your first name, sir.
Ashton.
Ashton, thank you. Your worship, through to Ashton. Part of 100-year flooding in municipalities is not so much the flooding portion of it, it's the infrastructure that's never been built enough to take it away. So if I was to say I wanted to do mitigation, I absolutely would say we need bigger storm sewers, because we know we can take it to Weed Creek, we just need, bigger storm sewers. The problem with it too is it comes overland. It doesn't come far overland, but of course to the lake goes uphill. So when the land gets saturated with water, that's what happens. And so if I had a few million, I would love to change the storm sewer systems in here so that they can handle that water and it can go through our drainage canal. Or if you look at if you're driving around, you go past the RCMP station, that's where sewage lift station is, and that's our drainage canal. In the 90s flood, that canal held it because it's 14 or 18 feet deep, I think, something like that. And we've got to clean it this year. We know that. It handled it and it sent it right to Weed Creek. And so a lot of Weed Creek can handle it. Now Weed Creek comes out at our intake at the Saskatchewan River. So one of these days, we're going to have to mitigate, and that's something that we're looking at as well, we're going to have to mitigate our intake shacks and infrastructure down the river, because if Weed Creek really overflows, we're underwater there too. So we have to consider that, but that's down the river. I want to read this study first. So they've been up and down Weed Creek. They've been to the mouth of the North Saskatchewan River where Weed Creek exits. They're just very set in their scope, and they're not used to overland flooding. They're used to being deluged by creeks and rivers and all that stuff rising. In some parts of Weed Creek, it's never going to rise with the banks 30, 40 feet. Never. It's never going to happen. So maybe we put more beaver dams in, I don't know. But I'm asking them to consider it, and I'm being very strong upon it. And if we need to, we will make petition to our MLA through the minister for that notation in that study. And that study will be available to everybody. It's not a secret study. So if something happens, I don't send it to you, or it's due in 2026, just keep it here and just send me a note and I'll send it to you when it's ready. Perfect. Thank you. You're very welcome, sir.
Andrew, you have a question? Councilor Watson?
One thing with Weed Creek also though, was on Highway 39. When that flooding occurred, the culvert underneath the Weed Creek, it couldn't handle it. It was way too small, which they had to fix because everything washed out. So that should really help some of the problems.
Yeah, washed it out and now they put concrete rings over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it made a big difference.
yeah, they're doing a lot of that mitigation. Here's something interesting that I learned when I was with Alberta Transportation, it was through the council, is, those big concrete rings do a really good job. And we have that one under the bridge because, of course, it almost washed that bridge out. Here's something interesting, is, when they put that type of culvert on Highway 43 going down to Chickadee Creek, going down that big hill on Highway 43 towards Fox Creek, you're going down a huge hill, and that's called Chickadee Creek. As soon as they put that big cement culvert in, they had to put a weather station at Chickadee Creek because it changed the whole weather pattern from the time you come off the top of the hill when you go up that long hill to the other side. It's interesting what they'll do because the concrete's porous, so it changes your weather. That's why you have a weather station. A monitoring station, yeah, kind of cool. Just a little trivia.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you.
I was lucky, thank you.
All right, Mr. Public Works, sir, Mr. Chris.
Okay, I had to do it for, for September, October, November, because I'll just read, I haven't done one of these, sorry, I won't.
Take your time, it's very informal.
I'll read the way we wrote it. Casey completed his water treatment and wastewater level 1 certification. This substantial accomplishment was a mixture of real-world experience at the water treatment plant as well as countless dedicated hours studying at home on his free time. Multiple efforts led to the successful installation of a new pump at the river intake. This included, but is not limited to, the arrangement of cranes to haul the new pump and the install and removal of decades of sediment buildup. It was a big deal. It just seemed like so many efforts, and finally to get it done was a huge thing. So, and the second one will go in infinitely easier. There was a simple water main break. Again, I'm kind of getting all over 3 months. I apologize. There was a significant water main break, which was repaired. There was also, I'm mentioning a sewer plug, a sewer main that was plugged. Doesn't happen very often. That's the second one since I've been here in 5 years, so it's worth mentioning. Grass cutting through September happened. We didn't have summer students at that, so it took up my guys. That's why I'm mentioning it. Reorganized and cleaned the cold storage shop completely, including installing a new winter gravel storage bin. We had all our gravel stored outside, and so it froze up in the winter. And when I need it for breaks and stuff like that, we were really struggling. This year we have a huge bin of dry, usable gravel throughout the winter months. It's a significant improvement. Winterizing and storing the mowers and the summer equipment happened through that time. Ongoing storm draining, cleaning happened through the entire fall months. Sidewalk maintenance began in November. I didn't say streets because we didn't really get that until December here. So sidewalks have been happening for a while, especially with the rain and everything. I guess I wrote this down. Anyway, I completed my first budget, so a little personal. It's kind of funny anyway, but thank you for indulging me. Preparing equipment for winter tasks. We assisted in setting up the new bulk water station, putting in some posts and doing some concrete work there, and helping with internet installation. Had to attend a bunch of meetings for that, to take up too much of my time. Anyway, and getting ready and taking care of the station through its actual use and making it a functional thing, not just a concept. Sewer line maintenance, again, that's what we do with our hot seats, which is all we have, but we do regular blowing of pressure cleaning, especially certain sewer lines in town, which are routine, or they will be problematic. So that's kind of an ongoing thing. Ongoing addressing of any resident issues that arise. Not complaining just takes a lot of time. So, and you deal with each person. Every single person who has an issue is dealt with. No one is ignored, and no one is not Different day-to-day concerns or situations can arrive at any given moment and are addressed. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Well, thank you, well done. That wasn't so hard.
No.
Didn't hurt too much. Questions for Chris, anybody? No, thank you.
Sidewalk maintenance, what are you doing for sidewalks?
In November, we had a lot of freezing, so we had to salt and sand. Well, no, I shouldn't say sand, we don't sand. We had to salt sidewalks. Basically, it's quite involving, actually, because first you have to salt it, but then you have to get rid of the slush, or you just wake up the next day, you have the same recurring problems. But we got it down to a system. It's never done in a day, but by day, if we have a significant snowfall or anything, by day 3, we have dry sidewalks usually. So we kind of got a bit of a system.
So when you say sidewalks, where roughly, just rough?
I'd have to show you on
Because we got a bylaw where basically everybody in town is supposed to be responsible for their own.
Absolutely, and I'm only responsible for certain ones. I'd be very happy to show you a map. All I can tell you is I've been doing the same sidewalks that I was shown since I got here. How they were decided upon, the logic behind each and every one of them, I'm not sure. Some of them are obvious, some of them are less obvious. Yeah, I do what's on the map, I'm sorry.
I can help you a little bit, to Kevin.
Yeah.
Any properties we have to look after, I just assigned, Casey 2 more today.
Yeah,
2 lots that we have to look after that are on the tax roll. Any of those abandoned properties we have to look at. We've got a huge kind of boulevard sidewalk past the New Life Church there that we have to look at that's alongside, because the boulevard is huge. It's an extraordinary long, deep boulevard. We have to look after that. We help Kelly out if we need to, for sure. Sometimes some seniors, if they're infirmed or sick, have broken their leg, we always help them if we need to go in and do that sort of thing. But mostly it's property and our own property, right? We have to make sure we sand and salt everything that we own first. So, and any abandoned property, if we can't get a hold of the owner, we just attach it to the tax.
So can I want to ask a question, combine it. So Kelly, you have your own maintenance staff for the complex, but the town pitches in?
Not for sidewalks, we do Kelly's sidewalks in the morning. Now, I also want to give credit to John and her other ice fella. They do go out and do what they can, they absolutely help, but it is our responsibility.
Okay.
And usually, if I, to add to that, usually like my ice guys, their shifts start 3, 4 p.m. and they're working till 11 or 12 at night, right? So, you know, Public Works is, you know, they handle the daytime stuff, they get us clear first thing in the morning for opening the building, and then our guys will continue it in the evening as hockey operations and things continue.
I was just trying to make the point that you're working together instead of fighting.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much fighting.
I don't love fighting, Councilor.
Okay, just the experience of working there between Public Works and our ice guys, our sidewalks were always clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like almost 24 hours, they always kept everything nice. I mean, sometimes when we had the wind blowing and that, John or now Rod, they were out there twice in an evening trying to keep it open, which is, like I said, the wind circles that building horribly and we drift.
Yeah, the drifting's crazy.
Holy cow.
Makes it so hard.
Yeah.
Except Kelly bought a new machine, which works great.
Yeah, it's just getting into the building sometimes to get it.
Yeah, we have to look at it so that's used through shrubbery or plantings or something, and we'll take a look at that.
The toughest days are when we have to come in early and do streets because we can't be over there right away to help. But if we have another man, that's where he'll be, is over there. So, yeah, it's not, you know, we aren't always at a 3-man staff. Sometimes we have 4s. Those days we absolutely send the 4th guy over to do sidewalks.
Okay, any other questions for Chris? No? All right, recreation report, Kelly Proby.
Alrighty, so for the month of November, we had 140 active memberships for the weight room. 10 of those were for our spa employees. In our program, so Monday is our Lego club. We had 58 kids attend for the month. Wow. Beyond the Bell is on Wednesdays. That one is an interesting one, it's up and down. 57 total, but 35 of them were on December 3rd. Do I have a typo?
No,
Oh.
no, I'm just looking at 134 for stay and play. Sorry, I'm getting ahead.
100, yeah.
You're ahead of the game, let her get to that.
Yeah, stay and play,
Oh,
Wednesday morning.
she asked me,
Come
so.
tomorrow morning and check it out. 134 participants, that's moms and kids, or caregivers and kids. We have grandmas, we have grandpas. The last one we actually had people from Drayton Valley and from Leduc that came out for our stay and play program. And I was supposed to include an email in here and I forgot. Oh, sorry. If I find it, maybe I'll put it in my next report.
Sure.
But yeah, Sam and Rachel do the stay and play, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. November 5th, we hosted the Harvest Luncheon for seniors, and that was the Bob Layton and Shane Blakely, hosted by MC Donna, thank goodness, because we had like a 30-minute delay between when we were supposed to eat and actually ate, so Donna carried on the show.
You certainly didn't tell me about that one, did you? I think people know more about me now than I ever wanted to know.
I think for a lot of them, you were the favorite part of the show, so.
Well, Bob Layton loved her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Layton he did a really nice review on social media, saying like that was one of the best ones he did, the best MC he's had and the best meal. So we had it catered by Huckleberry. So yeah, that was kind of nice. So then Sam shared it into the Thorsby social feed to continue that. November 4th and 19th, I was participating in that roving energy management program. So one was a meeting, another one was a, whole afternoon learning activity. So it'll probably be like every 3 weeks I'll be having a meeting one-on-one with engineers going over things. Now we're kind of in the data entry phase, or data gathering. January will be the data entry. I don't know, it's time consuming, but it's going to be worth it. I know it is. I hope. November 14th to 16th, we hosted a U13 hockey tournament for the West 39 Bucks. That all went over very well. November 22nd was our budget meeting. November 27th, I submitted the Canada Summer Jobs grant application. So I tried to get it done early this year, hoping that jumps us up the queue. I don't know. We'll see if it works. We did 3 staff for Public Works and 1 for recreation, just for the rec grounds, not for programming. We supported the Thorsby Christmas Spirit event by donating gift bags for the kids. Along with that, we relaunched the annual gingerbread contest at Builders Garage. Sam took the lead in organizing that, and winners, I don't know if they're posted yet or not, but they should be today or tomorrow. And this time she changed it. She had the community vote, and that was a huge hit. Instead of, usually we would pick counselors actually to go over and select the winners and announce it at the event, but having the community vote, they really liked that. Ran out of ballots. I think there was 225 ballots ran out.
Wow.
So yeah, Linda at Builders. She did a great job. She was really excited about it. We, Public Works had to bring over 2 more tables for the contest because there were so many entries. And they were
Some of them were so
stunning, like stained glass windows, and it lit up, like it was.
And just
Any prizes for being, for them, or like for being first and second and
Yes,
third?
yeah, so there's first and second prizes, for all of them, and actually, the community really stepped up, and so, like, we handled the kids' prizes, the kids and the teens, but Twisted Lime donated for the adult prizes, like a full box. Colbrook Esso donated a $100 gift card for the business. The family prize, we did a bowling party with some puzzles and games, and then the hotel is donating pizza for that family when they have their event.
Nice.
Yeah,
Pretty good prizes.
They were fantastic prizes, yeah.
And Linda at Builders, they're going to are going to keep a table there with the winners posted on it for a while.
Yeah.
So it just, well, hopefully the gingerbread house, the ones will all be down and get another Builders. But she was quite excited to have all the winners posted there.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, so we appreciate their support, and that was great, so, no matter what happens with the event, Sam and I are like, we'll keep this going, because it's very, good for the community.
I like the way you redid it.
Yeah,
I think
she
it's
did,
good.
it was good
That
with going there,
concept.
she just tweaked it up and changed it a little bit, some fresh eyes, right?
Yeah.
We hired 3 new staff members at the complex. We were trying to run things thin, but it was just too hard. So, obviously Counselor Watson is no longer with us, and then Tyler, our school teacher, is also no longer with us. So they've both been replaced, and we also hired a student programmer who's just, she's doing about 6 hours a week. So assisting with programming and learning and kind of integrating her into the facility. Building operations, the heat floor pump that was out last council report, so that has been repaired and installed. Everything's fine there, which is good because we're getting cold, so that will be kicking in here. The freezer and the concession, that's finally fixed, no issues, it's good. And then it was just lots of minor facility repairs, but most of them were able to be handled by John and Rod, bowling alleys and doors, lighting. Olympia machine, they did full services on that, and so very nice.
Awesome, thank you. Go ahead.
Did they, do anything, or did you do anything with the steel for on the Zamboni?
Zamboni?
Yeah,
Yeah,
last time you were talking about the edges and stuff?
Pit.
Yeah, that's the pit, so that's in my capital budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for 2026, that'll be like a full rebuild on that pit to save, yeah.
Wendy, you got a question?
If I don't, I have to hit the grocery store.
Okay, thank you.
If I don't see you all on the 23rd, Merry Christmas. I'll see you next year, but I'll try to be here on the 23rd.
Yes.
Thanks, Wendy.
Weather's too crappy, it won't be, but I'm willing, I'll be fine, and we can, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry I have to leave early.
Take care, Wendy.
Kelly, I got a question. Was that a typo last month, or you had active memberships 104 last month?
No, yes, yeah.
So it went up from 104 to 140.
Yeah, 104 that's low, because we've been averaging around that 130 mark, so, yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was just low.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, 140, active memberships. And it's weird because, I'm not processing as much paperwork, because I manage the FOBs,
Right.
turning them on and off, and I'm not processing as much paperwork. I'm like, our number's going down, but they're not, because most of them are auto-renewing it.
I was gonna
So
say,
they just have it linked to their credit card, and it's just,
Oh, I see.
so I get a notice if they get declined or their card expires or whatnot. And
but
then,
that's
so,
because Kelly set it up now
yeah.
with the auto renewal and everything, so our paperwork went way down.
That's why.
It just, the clients loved it. They
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
much
to
more
come in.
convenient, yeah.
Yeah, and she gets it done, and you don't have so much paperwork to file.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
I
go
just
ahead.
have a question, Your Worship, to Kelly, and we have any reports on our concession this year? I know they've been busy with all the tournaments and that, I know they're great folks. Do we have any, kind of comments or anything?
Excellent comments, yeah. It's actually, I follow hockey groups on social media, and they've just launched an app which is called Rate Your Rink. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Look at it. There's only I think maybe a dozen rinks in there, and it's all over Alberta, right? But we're in there. We have 3 reviews, 5 stars, and the concession is commented on, 5-star review for the concession.
Nice.
So, yeah, no. So
It would be mean pie, it would be 6 stars.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know,
pie.
nobody gets the pie. I tell every concession operator, and they just don't get it.
They were never around with pie.
Yeah,
They need pie.
We need pie.
but they have to be the jumbo pies,
pie.
dish,
I mean, we have
they're
pie.
famous.
I
You know
don't
who
if
made
they're still
those?
there,
You
but
made
at one
the-
point, they were still there,
Flat.
the deep dish pie.
Flat, right?
Yeah.
Tasha.
They walked out the door.
Like you get in Nordic.
Yes, exactly, Donna.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Good job.
And Kelly, you've got the leftover bags back and the baton?
Yeah,
I dropped them off.
yeah, so actually.
When they went in and washed the coolers.
We had 35 of our own kids with the gingerbread houses, so we did our own little draw for our kids. But all of the other
They
kids
got
that are,
satisfaction.
yep, as they come pick up their gingerbread house, we're giving them a little baggie.
Okay.
So, they're, yeah, and then the rest will go in our last, Wednesday program, I think next Wednesday. No, the Beyond the Bell.
Okay.
Because they have a Christmas activity
Oh.
planned, so.
All right, motion to accept the sale reports for.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, moving right along to, CFO Cindy.
Hello. Okay, so in the month of November till now, I worked with managers to finalize the department budgets, finalize budget for council consideration and made requested amendments, set up required accounts for card reader at bulk water station, met with select engineering regarding the road program, sent out letters regarding tax arrears, met with auditors and they conducted pre-testing for the 2025 audit, which went flawless. Scheduled the auditors for February 23rd and 24th for the 2025 audit commencement, assisted with billing for November as another glitch was detected and mitigated before bills were sent out. Met with benefits provider to go over the benefits renewal for 2026. Attended meeting for Veterans Park to consult on the budget for clarification. Approved payables and distributed EFT payments, processed payroll, weekly staff meetings, resident consultations, and attending to information requests. Outstanding utilities, $66,097.93, of which $7,300 is subject to shut off. Outstanding taxes, $357,960.50, of which $77,000 is up for tax recovery and $68,000 is from 2024 tax notices. Operating account has just over 1.1 million as compared to just over $1 million last year. Savings accounts, 1.17 million, same as last year, and again, not in our line of credit.
And you must have a typo there, right?
What?
Where?
On your savings account, you've got 1,177,617 now and the same for last year.
Yeah, because the interest is now going into our operating account. We changed that. And that is just, like, that's just our reserves and our land tax account, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Cindy, anybody? Nope. Motion to accept the CFO report for information?
I'll motion.
All in favor? Last item, correspondence, Black Gold School Board highlights, not much to that, so if you want to look at that. So motion to accept the correspondence for information? All in favor? You adjourned. Thank you.
Well done, Cal.
I was wondering if Ashton had questions, is that why you came, or you just came out of curiosity?
No, I came out of curiosity.
What did you say?
He had a couple questions.
Yeah, I know, but then he figured it out, and I thought, oh, he probably got tired of waiting for his turn to ask.
No, you were done.
Okay.
Yep,
No, he got out, he was on that.
He's brand new, and he's pretty interested in the little town. So the ladies at the front today, I was now busy with, or chatting with them today, chatting